Previously.
2 o'clock in the morning. This had better be good.
Prime Minister, C here. You're needed at MI6 headquarters immediately.
Have you seen the video from Islamic State claiming responsibility for the attacks?
No, but I know they did it.
Well, you'd better watch it because the 2 terrorists gloating on the video are very high up in Islamic State, and we know from local intelligence that they are hiding out in Russia.
What are you suggesting?
Targeted drone strike.
I'll assemble the committee. You'll need to attend too. It'll be Cabinet Office, Briefing Room A, 9:15 this morning.
Well, as I see it, if these individuals are known terrorists, we should take them out without hesitation.
Acting in self-defence is perfectly lawful, so far as I'm concerned, and we certainly won't be able to have a parliamentary debate on it if it has to be done today, so I see we have very little alternative.
Well, if we have the chance to take 2 dangerous terrorists out of the game without any civilian casualties or collateral damage, how can I possibly disagree with this course of action?
And as Defence Secretary, I give you my backing, Chris. Absolutely.
If General West says we won't get caught and the Attorney General says it would be legal even if we did, I can't see a problem.
All right. General, do your thing.
I saw a cavalcade at Whitehall at 8:45 this morning. That early? It must be Cobra.
Gentlemen, consider the button pushed.
Our intelligence appears to have been wrong, and Busaide's gone off message.
Are you telling me that I authorised a drone assassination of 2 individuals, neither of whom were killed, which killed innocent civilians, including women and children, and destroyed a UN safe haven without the authorisation of Parliament or the Russian government, on the basis of intelligence from a rogue MI6 agent?
I'm afraid so, Prime Minister.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jessica Adams' report means that our meeting is out there. I think you'd better give her a gentle warning sooner rather than later.
Matt, you left the door open. Matt, are you there? Oh my God!
Jess?
Oh, the furniture's all messed up. Someone's been in here. Oh my God, Matt, it must be MI6. It must be.
No, it was probably a break-in.
This is a warning. I'm onto something.
MI6, drop your weapon!
On BBC London News tonight, a massacre at Waterloo Station and the arrest and shooting of the gunman.
The gunman is believed to be Ali Busaid, and the intelligence officer has been positively identified as none other than the head of MI6, Gordon Chambers. Something happened here today far beyond the massacre. This is Jessica Adams reporting live for BBC London.
In the Interests of Security by Robert Chantler. Part 2.
What are you doing here?
I have a right to see you. I'm head of MI5.
I know you're head of MI5.
What the hell do you think you were doing today?
I beg your pardon.
At Waterloo.
Killing a terrorist who, by the way, turned out to be one of ours, Ali Busaid.
Who we've been watching for months.
Yes, well, considering he was in our employ as an undercover agent, and now I've had to shoot him dead for machine gunning people, I hope you can see why I'm rather pissed off.
MI6 should be vetting the people they use. It's not our job to vet your agents.
I wouldn't have asked you anyway. MI6 matters are MI6 affairs.
How the hell did I know he was an undercover agent for MI6? You didn't tell MI5.
How did I know MI5 was watching him? How did I know MI5 suspected him of being a terrorist? You never told me. I'm not psychic.
Did you carry out that drone strike on the basis of his intelligence? Because if you did, you seriously fucked up.
If you were watching him, MI6 should have been told. You've got as much blood on your hands as I have. And that drone strike had nothing to do with us.
Bollocks, it didn't. In any case, we didn't know he had links to IS in Syria. We thought he was radicalised and working independently. He'd been on extremist websites, but as far as we were concerned, he was working alone. Home terrorism is our domain. MI6 is international, which is why we didn't tell you. And what were you doing at Waterloo with your gun?
I didn't know he was going to be there. I didn't know who he was. I always carried my gun. He had a balaclava on. I just happened to be there. What was I meant to do? Find a quiet spot and get my mobile out, ring you up and say, "Hello, is that MI5? I'm just ringing to let you know that there's some nutbag at Waterloo Station shooting the fuck out of people with an AK-47? You stupid prick.
You are seriously unprofessional.
Don't lecture me on professionalism. If MI5 was doing its job, you'd have known he'd have been there and taken him in. How many more times is MI6 going to have to flush away the shit you lot have left floating in the toilet?
Excuse me? Our intelligence gathering has led to the successful thwarting of dozens of terrorist attacks on UK soil. And the reason why is because we monitor everyone and everything, and we act on our suspicions.
You've been monitoring our agent without telling me, and even if you didn't know he was working for us, that's no excuse. You didn't act on your suspicions, did you? Or if you did, you didn't know he was planning to massacre people at Waterloo Station.
I didn't know he was your bloody agent. All I know is, if you hadn't killed him, we could have extracted all sorts of intel from him. We'll never know now, will we?
Well, you should have told me about this, because he's been on the inside of the MI6 tent for the last 6 months, and on the strength of what I believe to be sound intelligence from an agent I believe to be entirely on our side, I asked the PM to authorise a drone assassination. Shit.
So it was you. Slipped up there, haven't we, Gordon? And without telling me.
Taking out 2 Islamic State militants in Russia was nothing to do with MI5.
Of course it bloody was.
And that's stated between you and me, because the PM and the Chief of the General Staff authorised it, and if this gets out, it'll be MI5 as much as MI6 that gets dragged through the shit.
So who were your targets then?
Hussein and Karimi.
Well, you didn't take them out, did you? Because they popped up on a video the next day beheading a journalist.
Look, the intelligence is rogue, okay? We should have known about Busaid, and you should have told us, then we wouldn't have brought him in and we wouldn't be in this mess. MI5 is as much to blame as MI6.
The hell we are.
MI6 didn't push the button.
But it was your intelligence that led to the button being pushed. And when this gets into the press, which it will, you and MI6 will look like a bunch of total fuckwits. I mean, did you even vet him before you took him on board? Well, did you? Did you make inquiries to MI5? Well, no to that one.
You say one word to the press about this.
Of course I won't. Because it will make us look pretty stupid if it gets out that we were monitoring a terrorist suspect who massacred people under our noses, and more stupid when everyone knows we let MI6 kill our suspect while we were off guard.
Alright, let's just agree neither service is going to look good if this gets out, so let's both agree to shake hands and bury this one.
Alright, but I'm not a happy bunny. And if there's another attack on London which could have been stopped with information from Busaid gained under our interrogation, which we can't get now, I hope you'll sleep at night.
Twat. Chris, it's Gordon. I'm coming over right away.
Matt!
Hello. I wasn't expecting you. I saw your news story. Very good.
Matt, I got a cab from Waterloo Station, and on the back seat, poking out from the joint, I found this.
A USB stick?
Can you see what's on it?
Sure. Yeah, later.
Why can't you do it now?
Busy.
Show me. That's Busaid. The terrorist that got shot today. Why are you... Shit. You hacked MI5. You're logged onto MI5. What sort of IT security consultant are you?
Oh, shit. All right, look, I am an IT security consultant, but I work for MI5. Sorry, you know I couldn't have told you.
What?
No, come on, please. Jess, you're upset. It's been a hard day.
No, well, it's just a shock.
Yeah, well, now you know. Oh, for God's sake, don't tell anyone. Anyone knows you know what I do, and I'll be done for treason. You know what that means?
Yes, no, I won't say a word. Promise me you really love me. Tell me our relationship wasn't just so MI5 could spy on me.
No, Jess. No. Oh, come on, you're being paranoid. I love you, okay? I promise I'm not watching you or anything, okay? I wanted to help you, but I couldn't because you'd find out what I did. And I didn't know how you'd cope, and I knew you couldn't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, if my boyfriend is an MI5 agent, he can check this data stick, can't he?
As soon as I send my boss the background I have on Boo's side. Give me a minute. I was almost finished. All right, let's have a look at the stick. It's encrypted. Hang on. This level of encryption, it's got to be government or military.
Can you get into it?
Oh yeah, eventually. This is not going to be a 5-minute job. I'll leave it with me.
That stick does not leave this flat, and you don't say a word to your MI5 mates.
Oh, of course not. Jess, if MI5 found out you had an encrypted data stick with all the current shit going on, they'd be round here trashing the joints, and then, when they'd done with the flat, it would be me. And then you. So I won't say a word. You have to trust me, okay?
Okay.
Did you see that news report? All over the internet. The Twitter sphere's gone mental. YouTube has been flooded with mobile phone footage of everything from the massacre to your Bond-esque antics. Everyone's wondering why the head of MI6 was there at the exact moment a terrorist attack occurred. Everyone's wondering why you were in the field when you should have been behind your desk.
I was just there. It was coincidence. If it hadn't been for me, who knows how many more would have died. MI6 looks pretty bloody good from where I'm sitting, and the press can make what they will of it. I've just had a flaming row with Richard Campbell, and I'm not in the mood for another one.
If it becomes known that Ali Boussaid was employed by MI6 when MI5 had him under surveillance, and that MI5 and MI6 didn't talk to each other, can you imagine how bad that will look?
It won't get out. Richard's keeping his mouth shut because he knows MI5 is just as culpable as we are.
And you can multiply this crisis by 10,000 if it ever gets out that Boussaid's intelligence was the sole justification for the drone strike on Russian soil, which A, didn't kill the intended targets, B, killed innocent civilians, including women and children, C, blew up a UN safe haven, and D, was done without the authority of Parliament or the Russian administration.
The drone self-destructed after it was deployed. Nobody will ever know it was one of ours. Whatever the suspicions of the Russians, they can't prove anything, and as long as that remains the case, you have nothing to worry about. If the press keep pressing us, we'll just say the strike was an ISIS strike against a UN target, and no one will be any the wiser.
What about that drone operator you sacked, General? He refused to fire because there were women and children, and you relieved him of his duties. What if he finds out? What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to keep quiet? I wouldn't mind betting he's gone to the press already. Maybe even Jessica Bloody Adams. Islamic State have already shown footage of the two terrorists the drone strike was intended to kill, so we'll know we killed innocent civilians. And he knew it was a British drone that destroyed the building. Everything that happens is recorded at Waddington. Conversations, phone calls, satellite imagery, everything. All he has to do is to stick a USB in a slot, download the right file, and send it to Jessica Adams.
Calm down. I copied the day's logs onto a data stick and wiped the files at Waddington right after the operation. It's on my keyring if you want to... Shit. It's dropped off.
Well, check your...
I'm checking my trousers. Okay. It was on a high-level encrypted stick. Not even Alan Turing could decrypt that.
If that gets into the public domain, we're fucked with a capital F. And then some. And that's if Barrett hasn't already blabbed to the press.
Well, he hasn't, and he won't.
How do you know?
Oh, didn't you hear? John Barrett met with a very unfortunate accident just the other day. This deadly spider found its way into his flat and bit him on the foot. Sadly, there was no antidote. He lives by the fruit and veg market up near the RAF station, so they think it might have come in the banana box or something. James told me, and I completely believe him.
James? MI6 James? Your senior officer? MI6 murdered him?
That is a very serious allegation, Prime Minister.
Is it true?
I won't even justify that with an answer. Anyway, he was the least of your problems. Jessica Adams is a conspiracy theorist pin-up girl, renowned for her exposés. She knows there's a story and she won't let it go. She was on the scene when it happened. She knows the victim was Busaid. She'll be looking into Busaid for a start, and it won't take her long to find out he was an undercover agent for MI6, and that MI5 are watching him without telling us, and that it looks like MI6 forgot to vet him at all. She's an ambitious journalist with a high reputation, waiting for the story that takes her to the next level, and she's bright and resourceful. How long do you think it's going to take her to put all this together? If she can prove all this, MI5, MI6 and the government go down like a ton of bricks. If Russia finds out about the drone strike, there'll be World War fucking 3.
All right. So what do you suggest?
What she needs is a stronger warning. Much stronger.
Sorry to interrupt, but a letter has just arrived by email, addressed to you and marked urgent. I forwarded it to your personal inbox.
Okay, thank you. I'll look at it now.
Shall I,
No, stay. It's from the Russian embassy in Moscow. Oh, shit.
What?
Shit.
What is it?
Our ambassador has been summoned to attend the embassy immediately. And the reason is they've found a fragment of the drone which can, from that fragment, clearly be identified as British. And worse, not even the type of drone we sell to their regime.
Oh my God, this is bad.
And that's not all. It's been copied to Jenny and the chair of the Commons Defence Select Committee. And do you know who that is?
I probably should, but...
It's Sarah Kennedy, the leader of the opposition. And with the general election only a few months away, the government is well and truly stuffed. And the army's stuffed too, because you pushed the button, General. And you said you destroyed the drone.
I didn't build the drone. It's not my fault if it didn't self-destruct properly. Blame MI6. They designed it.
Yes, but we didn't build it.
Enough.
How long do you think this is going to take to be all over social media and the mainstream news? Can you imagine what Jessica Adams will make of this when this gets out? Your missing stick is almost insignificant now. I think things have gone beyond a stronger warning. Leave it to us.
If she disappears now or ends up dead, it'll look very suspicious.
No, it won't, I assure you. Excuse me a minute, I just need to make a call.
Gordon?
James, a little job for you. Jessica Adams has to die. Make it unpleasant.
Understood.
Yes?
It's Richard Campbell. Put me on speakerphone. There's been a development. Your intended targets have turned up in London. And let's just say that their internet activity suggests you need to be seriously worried.
The BBC can report that an insider source at Westminster has shown our Syrian correspondent a letter from the Russian embassy in Moscow that reveals a secret drone strike was carried out in their country by our government without permission. With more on the story, we cross live to our correspondent Jessica Adams, who is outside Parliament.
Thank you, Chloe. Yes, it appears that for whatever reason the British government fired a guided missile from a drone at a building in Moscow last week. As you probably know, Britain is not engaged in Russia and their government was unaware of the strike prior to the deployment of the drone. The building that was destroyed was in fact a UN safe haven, and as the letter from Russian government was copied to the leader of the opposition, in her role as chair of the Defence Select Committee, it seems inevitable that the PM will now be called to account for this. What was the basis of the intelligence that led to the drone strike? That is going to be the question on everyone's lips, as will whether this attack made our country yet more vulnerable to terrorist retaliation. Jessica Adams, BBC Breakfast News at Westminster.
Did you see the news this morning, General? Someone leaked the letter to the BBC, and Jessica Adams has just made sure the whole bloody nation knows. It was splashed over every BuzzFeed newspaper from here to Australia. When I find out who leaked it, they'll find themselves in Guantanamo Bay.
Prime Minister?
Oh, God. Don't shout at me across the lobby. It's uncouth. What do you want?
Don't you speak to me like that. I want your head on a plate. That's what I want, and I'm going to get it.
OK.
I've just had a copy of a rather interesting communique from the Russian embassy in Moscow, signed by President Romanov. He'd quite like to know why fragments of a drone that destroyed a building in Moscow without authorisation were from a British drone of a type not supplied to Soviet forces. So would I, and so would the electorate, I should think.
Now, this was meant to stay within Cobra. We weren't meant to get caught, and you weren't meant to find out. Did you see the BBC News this morning? The news channel's been running it round and round all morning. Over the weekend, someone leaked it to the press. Did you do it?
Oh, of course not. I wouldn't need to. I just thought I should tell you that I've written to the Speaker to table a statement to the Commons by your good self at the earliest opportunity. Have a nice day and see you at PMQs on Wednesday.
Bitch.
You look pale, Chris. I guess you must have seen the news this morning.
You're aware of the situation regarding the drone attack?
Of course. And you made the right decision, Chris. We didn't have time to consult. On the basis of what we had reason to believe was good intelligence, we took preemptive action against known terrorists who were a threat to our country. Perfectly legal. Sir William said so. Whatever our differences, on that I back you 100%.
Now I have to go and draft a statement and try and contain the fallout as much as possible.
Jenny! Chris! Have you seen the news then?
He's been found out. The drone strike we agreed on went wrong. A fragment of the drone was identified as British by the Russian government, and it's caused, shall we say, a diplomatic incident. And because of a leak, the press know.
Maybe the Russian government told an international news agency like Reuters or something, and the BBC have picked it up on the wire.
No, it was leaked. They said so on the news report. A Westminster insider. Clearly someone with an agenda to embarrass the government.
Oh, well, that narrows it down.
Maybe they're saying it was an insider to protect their source. Have you considered that? Maybe they're saying it was an insider to stir the shit and rattle some ministerial cages. Have you considered that?
I suppose. Anyway, is this the drone strike we authorised at Cobra the other day?
Yes.
And so?
And so he screwed. I pledge my total support, of course, and I still think it was the right decision, but many won't agree with that stand. And he's a lame duck PM anyway. Third term, running a minority government and unpopular with the electorate. If he goes down, I get the chance to throw my hat into the ring.
Yes, your leadership ambitions.
Absolutely. He's messed up a few times lately. Between you and me, I'm going to enjoy watching Sarah make him squirm when he gives his statement.
Well, on the diplomatic front, here's the expert. All right, Martin.
What sort of stupid question is that? The sort of stupid question asked by someone who hasn't been on the phone to Moscow all morning, trying to get anyone to speak to me. All I have is a statement from President Romanov that he is seriously pissed off. He's even talking about nuclear retaliation.
He wouldn't dare. Trident would blow his missiles out of the sky.
Yes, but only while we have it. And he can wait, I'm sure. If the opposition gets in a few months' time, it could be bye-bye, Trident. Have you thought of that?
It doesn't do thinking about anyway. We have far too much cross-party support. Sarah, if she becomes PM, knows she'll never get enough votes to get rid of Trident. Maybe it won't be upgraded, but it'll still be there.
I hope you're right.
MI6 may have set things in motion, but Chris authorised it, and you pushed the button. General, as far as I'm concerned, you're all equally responsible for this shit, and for the massacre at Waterloo, and for whatever terrorist atrocities lurking, waiting to pounce.
Bollocks. You trumped up public school twat. If you'd been in charge of the armed forces and had the chance to take out IS's number 2 and 3, look me in the eye and tell me you wouldn't have done it. Yes. I thought so.
Hi, Jess. Thanks for coming home.
Sure you're not wired?
I told you, I'm not spying on you, okay? I'm here to tell you I de-encrypted the data stick. MI5 must not find out I hacked their technology to do it, okay?
But you work for them.
But this is not an MI5 investigation, is it?
Okay, well I won't breathe a word. Journalists protect their sources, remember?
It's a communication log of November the 2nd from RAF Waddington.
That's the day of the drone strike. I was right. I knew that gathering I saw at Whitehall was Cobra meeting.
Well, it's out there now. And from the bits of the audio files I listened to, I think it's safe to say that if this got out, it would certainly cause massive embarrassment to the government, the army, and MI6.
How do you mean?
The drone pilot got ranted at by the Chief of General Staff when he told him it was against protocol to fire on target known to contain civilians.
Oh, this sounds like a gold mine.
Nobody must know you have this, Jess. This was dropped by General West or a courier en route to the government or MI6. They'll know it's missing, and they'll be quietly pissing themselves. I'm serious, Jess. They've got enough shit slung at them with the news report to keep this story running. Wait until the heat dies down. I work for the intelligence services, Jess, and I'm seriously telling you, don't do anything stupid. If anything happened to you, I couldn't go on living. Do you understand?
Matt, you're scaring me.
I'm sorry, but you have to know what risks you're taking by pursuing this. My advice is to keep the stick tucked away in your knickers drawer, and don't let on to anyone you have it. Not Claire, or anyone. Please, Jess.
Okay.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Yes, sit down. What are you going to do with Jessica Adams?
Well, I could just stroll past her and jab her in the neck or shoot her in the head, but she deserves to suffer.
She does. And actually so do you, for relying on Bousside's intelligence, which is a trap we walked right into.
Fuck you. You're every bit as implicated. You hired him without vetting him. You weren't exactly making your concerns known to me when we were goading the PM into saying yes, were you?
Yes, well. Anyway, watch your language. You may be my number 2, but...
Don't call me number 2. I'm not a turd.
I should sack you right now, but you're such an unstable bastard I wouldn't want to entertain the possibility of having you batting for the opposition. Good psychopaths are hard to find nowadays. Anyway, Jessica Adams. She must be taken out.
Kidnap her. Give her an overnighter in the box. Get her out in the morning. Bit of torture.
Yes, but no physical damage. I want her death to look like she drowned. I want her body in the Thames by early next week, and when the police fish it out, I don't want it covered in burns and bruises. Understand? Find out what you can. Anything watery, drowning, waterboarding, whatever, but no physical damage. Are we clear?
Yes, sir. After a night in the box, she'll be ready to talk. People come out of that and they can't even stand up.
Good.
I believe her boyfriend spends most of the nights in her flat. I presume that if her boyfriend does get in the way...
You presume correctly. Kill him. Do you know who he is, by the way?
No, just some bloke, probably. Might see what I can find out.
Right. Oh, and James, this conversation never happened. Clear? And do a good job on Jessica, and I'll let you render Hassan al-Bin Malik.
That fucker. Oh, thank you, sir. That has well and truly put the glint back in my eye.
Come on, Chris, I hate seeing you so down. You're a fighter. You couldn't have authorised this alone. Surely Cobra will back you up.
I would say they would, but I can sense the knives are out. I mean, the only reason someone would have leaked it would have been to embarrass me personally, or the government. It could have been Sarah. It could have been Jenny, for God's sake. This is Westminster, darling. Nothing's off the table. Maybe even one of the Russians leaked it.
Oh dear.
And my ratings in the polls are bad enough already over these benefit cuts.
Just midterm apathy. Come on, the polls were bad midway through your last 5 years, and you still got voted back. Be a man and face the music.
I know you mean well, darling, but you've no idea how bad things are. Anyway, I've got to meet Richard and Gordon at MI5 at 5 o'clock for a briefing.
What about?
Sorry, that's classified. But I'll miss dinner. Sorry to mess you around.
It's okay. I can do something for me.
Chris? Gordon?
Richard?
Right, that's the pleasantries over with. You need to be updated.
Right.
As you know, we've been watching Busaid because he seemed to have connections with some IS sympathisers in London. He showed up on our radar in 2014, long before he was recruited by MI6 as an agent.
Informant.
Semantics, Gordon. He came knocking on your door saying he wanted to serve his country, and MI6 lay on the floor and spread its legs. If MI6 had done any checks at all, the sort of shit we found would have been found by MI6.
I know you two don't like each other, but can we shelve the feud for now, please?
Yes, sorry. As you know, we monitor, along with GCHQ, everyone's internet activity, and if we see anything of concern, we keep those individuals under surveillance. Busaid was one of those.
So why didn't MI5 share this with MI6? The old national-international demarcation?
I suppose, but the primary blame with this lies with MI6.
How?
Because you took on the guy without any sort of vetting, and he set you up. You allowed low-level, albeit accurate intelligence to make you believe he was loyal to Britain. And so on this last occasion, you took him at his word, and without any background checking, you bombed a UN building. Worse, in Russia of all countries.
All right, he set us up and we fell for it.
Busaid told Hussein and Karimi that you were planning to take them out. He knew you were because he was on the inside of the tent pissing out, wasn't he? If you were Islamic States number 2 and 3 in Syria, got told the British government were planning to take you out, and you saw them do it, you'd be a bit pissed off, wouldn't you? Any excuse for a bit of carnage and they'll jump at the chance. Do you think Busaid woke up and thought, I know, I'll go to Waterloo and shoot the place up? No, they told him to do it knowing he was off MI6's radar. Don't you entertain the possibility that your own agents could go rogue? Don't you keep an eye on them anyway, however distinguished their service?
No, we have thousands. We're run off our feet at the moment. We haven't got the time or resources to monitor every member of staff in every part of the world 24/7. Be sensible. Anyway, if MI5 were meant to be monitoring him, as I said before, why did the station shooting even happen?
We're monitoring hundreds of people, browsing thousands of tweets and messages, and things 24/7. Of course the odd one will slip through the net.
So was there any communication between Busaid and Hussein and Karimi regarding an attack like Waterloo?
One exchange.
And you missed it?
We missed it because the arrangements were made in Syria, and we don't monitor international terrorist suspects because that's your job.
Well, who knows how long they've been in London? Maybe they were already here when they told him. Maybe they were already here when the safe haven got bombed. Maybe they were never in Russia at all. Of all the countries to piss off.
Okay, MI5 were monitoring him, and perhaps we should have picked something up. But he gave no indication of his intentions, and if he'd been communicating to any degree with Hussein and Karimi in the UK, we'd have known. Anyway, even if the plot was known about, we wouldn't have known the location he'd chosen. We could guess, but we can't put marksmen all across London in case one of the hundreds of people we keep an eye on suddenly decides to go apeshit. From what I understand from the GCHQ official who subsequently found the exchange, the location was never discussed.
Well, if they are in London, we do indeed have a serious problem, and all those Londoners we thought we were saving by targeting Hussein and Karimi are now in even more danger.
And what information might Jessica Adams have that could be of use, I wonder?
I don't know, but we should know soon enough.
Don't move! MI6, lie on the floor and put your hands behind your back.
Please, please!
Get on the floor!
No, please!
Take her!
No! Let me go! Get the fuck off me! Please!
Hey! Let go of her! Hey!
No, Matt! No! No!
You're very lucky to be alive, Mr. Davis. A couple of inches to the left and it would have gone through your skull. We'll shave a little hair off to patch up the bullet wound, but it is only a flesh wound. The police will want to talk to you as well.
They took my girlfriend!
Who did?
MI6!
All right. Well, let's just get your wound treated first, okay?
I know I sound paranoid, but they did. She's a journalist, and they're onto her.
Well, you could tell the police in a minute.
But she might not have a minute. I've been trying to tell the medics all the way here.
I know, and you're lucky we didn't do you for threatening behaviour. There's still time.
Now, Mr. Davis, you say MI6 agents took your girlfriend.
Yes, I can't trace her because she left her mobile in the flat, and she could be anywhere. She might even be dead.
All right, sir. We'll take a description and alert our officers, but I'm sorry. Without descriptions of the attackers or a bit more information, I'm not sure how we'll find her.
Can I go?
As soon as you give us a description of Jessica, yes.
I'm going to be looking too, believe me. If I'd got home seconds early, I could have protected her.
Oh, don't blame yourself, sir. They're armed assailants. I don't think things would have worked out any differently. Who knows? Jessica or yourself might have been killed in your flat.
I'll never forgive myself if anything happens to Jess.
Shut it! Open the box and haul her out.
I haven't done anything, please. I don't know anything.
Shut up! Stop crying and listen to me. You tell me what you know or you'll go back in there.
Where's Matt?
Dead.
No, he's not dead.
I shot him in the head. That usually works.
Oh, please, I'm not a spy or anything. I don't know anything.
Shut up! You're a journalist. You're just as bad as a spy, snooping around and spouting all this conspiracy theory shit.
No!
You want to bring MI6 down?
No, I don't. I really don't.
What do you know about the drone strike?
Look, all I know is that there was a Cobra meeting that we weren't told about, a drone attack that we weren't told about, and the MI6 were at Waterloo when a terrorist started shooting people. That's all. I know something's going on, but I don't know all the details, honestly.
Well, fine. Actually, I don't care what you know or think you know. You're too much of a liability. Do you want to know everything? I'll tell you. Everything.
Why would you tell me now?
Because this room's going to be the last thing you ever see.
You can't kill me. People will know I've disappeared.
We'll make sure your death looks like an accident or suicide or something. We're good at stuff like that. Now, you want the truth?
Please, don't kill me. I won't pursue the story. I promise I won't.
A rogue agent set MI6 up, and on the basis of that intelligence, the government bombed a UN safe haven and killed innocent civilians. The Russian government found out, are demanding answers. We tried to keep it quiet, but the press found out, as you only know too well. Because of what we did, the terrorists we were meant to kill are now in London with God knows what planned, and you're on the news every day spouting your conspiracy theory shit, and to be honest, you're getting on our tits. We don't know what you're going to do next, and we can't take any more risks.
I'm a journalist. I'm just doing my job.
And we're just doing ours. You see that big tin bath full of icy water?
Yes.
Well, in a few seconds, we'll be drowning you in it.
Oh, no, please. I won't say anything else, I promise.
Do it, lads.
No!
There's something very special about standing impassively while you watch somebody you hate being drowned. Thanks, guys, but your services are no longer required. Job done.
Yes, James?
It's done. I'm going to send the cleaner around to do the flat and get her boyfriend's body. We'll get rid of it.
No qualms?
No, sir, I feel nothing. Meet me at Westminster Bridge.
11 p.m.
Yes, and make sure the cameras on the bridge are off first.
Got her?
Back seat. No detectable damage, but she suffered, I promise you.
Hopefully she's now off our case. You can relax a bit more at least.
I hope so. Nice touch knocking the streetlights out too.
Thanks. Want a hand?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3... She should be on the South Bank by Monday morning. Let's go.
What about the men who helped you kill her?
Dead. Headshots. They're not saying anything. Yes? What? Oh, for fuck's sake! Just a minute. Say that again. Say that again? What do you mean the body's gone? Fuck. Of course I won't. If I tell Gordon, he'll go ballistic. I'll be out and won't get the chance to take over his sea when the shit hits the fan, which it will. Of course you'll be looked after as long as you keep your mouth shut. Meanwhile, see if you can find him and finish the job.
Everything all right?
Yes, sir. Domestic trouble.
Yes, well, go home and get some sleep. Even if it is in the spare room. Ha.
Oh yes, very good.
Order! Order! This house must come to order. The House will be aware of recent events in Moscow which seem to implicate the government in carrying out a targeted assassination without the authority of the House. The leader of the opposition has written to me demanding that the Prime Minister attend this House so as to be held to account and so as to have the opportunity to explain the situation to this House. I feel this situation is so serious that this statement must be made at the earliest opportunity. Therefore, I can tell the House that I have spoken with the Prime Minister directly and informed him that he must give his statement at 11 a.m. before Prime Minister's questions this Wednesday. If additional time is required for questions after the statement, we can delay Prime Minister's questions if necessary, given the most serious nature of this situation.
I can assure you, gentlemen, that I do not take kindly to foreign nations conducting bombing missions in my country, especially when they don't have our permission, especially when they don't ask permission, and especially when they destroy safe havens. The safe haven on this occasion was staffed for the United Nations by Russian civilian staff, and their families are now left to mourn after this disgraceful attack. Relations with Britain were at breaking point before the strike. Now they are beyond repair. I am here to tell you that I intend to launch a nuclear weapon strike against London. My cyber experts are disabling Trident's communication systems, including radar, GPS, everything. My technicians are preparing our missile systems and dealing with some technical issues. But soon they will be ready, and when London is wiped off the face of the earth, the world will see that nobody disrespects my mother country.
You've been listening to, in order of appearance, Robert Chantler as Gordon, James Ford Bannister as Richard, Christy Wright as Jessica, Tom Briley as Matt, David Young as Chris, Mark Lottinger as General West, Izzy McNeil as Stephanie, Owen Holm as Sarah, Sue Ford as Jenny, Bob Wells as Paul, Jeff Middleton as Martin and the police officer, Stephen Ford as James, Helen Neal as the Doctor, and Robert Chantler as President Romanov. In the Interest of Security was written and directed by Robert Chantler and was a Free Theatre Company production.